Everyone tells you to watch Brackeys or Cold Monkey to learn game development, but that's exactly why most beginners never get good. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not some expert or like explicit dev, but I've spent years learning the wrong way, and I can prove why tutorials don't work and how we should learn instead. So this concept of having tutorial as your main learning resource even has a name. It's called tutorial hell. Tutorial hell, it all derives from one wrong belief about learning. And that's that you learn by not doing the thing itself. You can imagine like a painter trying to improve painting by like studying painting. Do you think they'll get better at painting by studying painting? Or do you think they get better by actually painting themselves, like practicing painting? Well, obviously they're going to get better by actually painting. But the reason why so many people fall into this trap of tutorial hell all derives from a wrong belief about learning, where you think recognition and understanding is the same thing. So you can probably like try to guess what recognition is and what understanding is. When you're watching a tutorial, you are recognizing something, but you aren't understanding it. Because let's say I can watch a Brackeys tutorials, like how to make a movement system, for example, and I can have it on my other screen. I can have the code here, and I can like copy and paste like everything that Brackeys is doing. And whilst Brackeys is like explaining, I can like think I'm understanding the things, and like sure I can follow along and I know what we're doing. Like, okay, this line does the movement, this line is going to like actually move the player. Like I know all these lines and I know what they do, and I can recognize like everything that we do. But you probably notice, like at least I know, when I try to implement that movement system into my own game, like without a tutorial, what's going to happen? Am I going to remember everything and I can like implement it perfectly? Or am I going to like forget everything and need to watch the tutorial again? Well, the only thing I did when I watched the tutorial was to recognize the thing that we did. I didn't understand the thing because I never used it practically. And these are two completely different things. And in research, this even has a name. It's called the illusion of competence. And in everything that's passive learning, so we have passive learning and we have active learning. In everything that's passive learning, that's where you like watch videos. You for example, listen to the teacher talk in class. For example, you go to lectures, things like that. That's passive learning. When we do passive learning things like watching tutorials, listening to someone talk, what we're actually learning is not to understand the things and be able to use them practically. Like, okay, now I know to make a movement script. Now I can never watch a tutorial about movement systems again. That's not what's going to happen once you watch a tutorial about movement systems. What's going to happen is that you're going to recognize the things, but since you never used it practically before, you never actually understood it. So you can't use it in your own projects. That's what's happening to me. That's why I got stuck, because I was constantly watching these tutorials, thinking I was like getting so much knowledge, and I was like following along, thinking I was getting like becoming some expert or something because I could recognize everything and it felt like productive and stuff like that, you know? But when I actually tried to make my own game, I couldn't do anything because I had all this recognition, but no understanding. Because I never experimented myself, I never implemented these things, and like trying to learn one thing at a time, trying to actually understand everything that I was doing. The only thing I did was recognize things on the screen because I only watched tutorials. And that's what tutorial hell is all about. So going back to the painting example from before, we know that to get better at game development, what do we have to do? Well, we have to make games. And since you are a beginner, you can't make games yet. So what we're going to do? Well, we're going to make small parts of a game. We're going to make experiments, specific mechanics. We're going to move this one square. We're going to build like one button, change one color, like do very, very simple mechanics. And we're going to learn from that. Instead of learning from tutorials, like as our main resource, we're going to learn from actually doing instead. And this is true for like everything. If you're going to learn math, then obviously you're going to maybe learn like 10% from the teacher talking and 90% from doing things actively, like going home, watching YouTube, taking notes, and importantly, actually solving the problems themselves. That's what you're going to learn 90% from. And 10% is maybe going to be like things you remember from the teacher talking, even though they explained everything, you're going to remember like 5-10% of that. But active learning, like building things, experimenting, and like doing active things, is more crucial in game development than any other field, because game development, it's not just one thing. What do you have to do if you are an indie solo game developer? What do you have to do? Well, you You have to make the music, you have to write the story, you have to make the cutscenes, you have to make the code, you have to make the art, you have to make the music, the sound effects. You have to do every single little thing. You have to do everything. That's completely on you. So when you're watching a tutorial, can you watch a tutorial for solving every single bug in the entire world and remember that? Or can you actually try to experiment yourself and get practical hands-on knowledge about the things that you actually need to like understand and know to actually make the games that you want to make? So hopefully you get my point now. I'm not going to talk more about like tutorials bad, building good. What I'm going to tell you now is exactly how you're going to build to actually learn game development the most effective way. So if you start doing this today, like I don't want you to watch any more videos on YouTube. I want you today to make one small experiment after watching this video, and I'm going to tell you how you're going to do that right now. And all of these things is what Smart Indie is built upon. Smart Indie is built upon active learning, experimenting, building, prototyping, actually getting understanding about something, not just watching a tutorial like making a full project and then you're going to follow along for 20 hours and you even have to pay for like following along some YouTube tutorial like Code Monkey. Like that's not what Smart Indie is. Smart Indie isn't going to like build my game and you're going to follow along. In Smart Indie, you're going to get a step-by-step framework from day 1 to day 60, where you're going to start learning game development all the way until you're going to release your own game. And I don't know what your game is. I'm going to walk you through learning the basics, getting ideas, and all the mistakes that you can make when you're finishing your first game. I'm going to walk through all of that, but I'm not going to tell you like step by step, oh, click this button, write this line of code. None of that bullshit, okay? So if that sounded interesting to you and you want to release your first game within only 6 days, 100% guaranteed, then you can click the first link in the description and join Smart Indie. When we're building, what we're going to do is we're going to get constant feedback. So we're going to write code, we're going to see the results, and in turn we get understanding. So write code plus try plus see results is equal to understanding. Very basic, like very autistic, like very simple to understand. So that's the loop we're going to be in here. So let me ask you, what's the most important part of game development? Well, if you are a beginner, it's like completely fine if you didn't get this, but it's going to be problem solving. And how do we solve problems? Imagine you encounter a problem and you just immediately ask ChatGPT how to fix this within 5 seconds of you seeing like the red line. How do I fix this? And then you send him your entire code. You just do that. Do you think you're going to remember next time that thing comes up to like write this entire thing and like do this one thing, click this? No, you're not going to remember that by just asking chat. You're not. When you encounter a problem which is crucial in game development, like you need to get better at solving problems. When you're building experiments and you encounter problems, what you're going to do is that you're going to spend 15 minutes before you use any external resources. You're going to experiment, you're going to figure out the solution yourself, and that's why I promise you, the next time you encounter that problem, since it was so hard, you tried everything, you got constant feedback, like all the time you try this, no, didn't work, try this, no, didn't work, and you try this thing, oh, it worked, and then you feel awesome. That's like 100% feedback, and you're going to remember that so well the next time. The next time you encounter that same issue or like a similar issue, you know what to do and you just remember everything from that issue and it's going to transfer over to this new issue. So I want you to just get comfortable with having a lot of problems in your code and just getting feedback. I don't want you to have the mindset that you're going to ask chat or Google for the solution immediately. I want you to struggle for like 15 minutes for each problem. If you can solve it within 15 minutes, what you're going to do, you're not going to ask ChatGPT. Instead, you're going to just Google instead. So you're going to Google the specific thing that you're struggling with. So for example, if you like can't figure out how to get player input or you have like one specific error, you're not going to search for like how to make this entire system. You're going to search for how to fix this one specific error, how to get like specific movement. I'm going to search for specific things. So hopefully you get my point. Just to clarify, instead of searching for like the entire system, how to make this entire system when you encounter a problem, and then just skipping through, what you're going to do, search for one specific thing that you're struggling with, just one line of code, one word, whatever it might be. search for that specific thing. And since it's just one thing, you're going to remember it very well for the next time you encounter that issue and you need that solution you Google for. So now you know, like, don't just ask chat or Google, watch a tutorial immediately when you encounter an issue or you don't know how to do something when you're experimenting. Instead, you want to have what we call a desirable difficulty. Like, it needs to be like a little hard, just above your comfort level, but not that hard that you're just going to quit. Desirable difficulty. And this has also been researched that when you do things that have a desirable difficulty, you're going to remember it not 10 times better, not 20, not 40, not 70%. You're going to remember it 80% better if you have like a desirable difficulty, like just above your comfort level, just above what you think you can do. You're going to remember the things 80% better. So awesome, now you know the loop that you want to be in. You want to have a desirable difficulty, you want to struggle with problems, and when you like struggle with something when you're experimenting for more than like 15 minutes, then you can search for the solution on Google, the specific solution. So here's what I want you to do today. Today, I want you to spend at least 45 minutes, preferably more, and try to make one mechanic. It can be move a player, change a button color. I want you to have one mechanic. Whatever you can do, that is a desirable difficulty, like we talked about before. Set a time frame, minimum 45 minutes to 90, if you have 90 minutes today. 45 to 90 minutes, I want you to set a timer and I want you to find out something that you can do with a desirable difficulty. Like this thing, I want you to just not search for a tutorial, not ask chat, how do I do this? I want you to find something that you can basically just, like, it's so easy for you to get started that you can just open Unity and you can start doing things that you know. Might be like debug.log, whatever it might be. It's completely fine, like you are a beginner. Might be something small, whatever you can do. Just go into Unity, do everything that you can do and try to build upon that. Whatever you can do, just go into Unity, do the things that you can do, like try to use as much of your knowledge as possible and try to build upon that with a desirable difficulty. Something that you like kind of know how to do or like you think could be like fairly easy or you could guess your way through it. Because the moment you feel confused or you feel stuck, that's a sign that you're finally learning and you're finally free from tutorial hell. So when you're experimenting, just remember these things. Guess, test, adjust. Guess, test, adjust. Do these three things. So guess, like try to guess your way through like building something that you don't fully know how to do. Guess your way through it, test it, and then adjust. If you spend more than 15 minutes on the problem, then you can search for the specific solution on Google. So guess, test, adjust. And also if you want specific prototype challenges and experiments that you can make to learn even faster and remove all of the overwhelm and like be more time efficient, because basically you don't need to think about experiments, then you can join Smartini. I'm working on the full prototype and experiments right now so that you can learn even quicker and just remove all of the overwhelm. And when they release, you have access to them as a bonus. Like it's not like the main thing that you buy, it's a bonus at no extra cost for you. No extra cost. I think that's a great deal. So click the first link in the description and I'll see you there. Thank you for watching.